fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, you know, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. You know, I just know, you know, character take you a long way, and I just don't agree with the character, you know what I mean, actions that he took.
The problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want to fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money.
Terence Crawford erupted at Floyd Mayweather after sparring footage was leaked, saying he was deeply disappointed by Floyd's actions. Crawford stressed that he expected more respect from someone who claimed to be close to him. He expressed frustration that private training moments were made public, insisting that such a move should never have come from a fellow champion.
I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, you know, and how he was acting, being that, you know, me, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, you know, we was all cool at one point in time. And, you know, when the Errol Spence fight was getting mentioned and talked about and, you know, signed, you know, I just felt like he just did a lot of fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, you know, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. You know, I just know, you know, character take you a long way, and I just don't agree with the character, you know what I mean, actions that.
Eddie Hearn's suggestion that Crawford should retire highlights the division within the boxing community. On one hand, Hearn admires Crawford's untouched legacy, multiple division titles, dominance over elite opponents, and a status among the all-time greats. Retiring now would preserve his image forever, much like past legends. Yet, Hearn also acknowledges the financial temptation. With Saudi investment in cross-promotional spectacles now driving the sport, Crawford could secure record-breaking purses even in non-legacy fights. For Hearn, the balance between money and legacy is a reality every modern fighter faces.
Sorry?
Should Crawford retire?
Do you know what? Someone said the other day, and it's very true, because I actually said it about Usyk. We've got a real tendency, haven't we, to kind of try and retire people off. Do you know what I mean? Like I said with Usyk, I think now he should retire. And everyone's like, why do you want him to retire? It's like, I just think it's a great way to go out. I actually also think that Crawford could move down and win a world title at 160. And that would make him, what, 6 division champ? 5, 35, 40, 47, 54, 6 division champion. But the problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want to fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money. So Shakur, he was obviously very close to him, seemed to say, so maybe.
Floyd Schofield believes Crawford should step away while on top. In his eyes, Crawford has already achieved everything that defines greatness: pound-for-pound supremacy, championships across weight classes, and victories over the best of his era. Schofield stresses this isn't about questioning Crawford's skill, but about avoiding unnecessary risk. If Crawford fights again, Schofield thinks it should only be against rising contenders like Virgil Ortiz or Frank Martin, tests that would reflect the new generation. Still, Schofield emphasizes respect. Crawford has nothing left to prove, and retiring now would secure his flawless record.
So, I feel like Crawford, you know, he could retire if he wants. I feel like if he does get another fight, I would love to see him in there with Virgil or Duran. I feel like those are both great fights, but those are fights we just gotta see. We just gotta see those fights before. I feel like those are the only 2 fights I would entertain.
Not a rematch, maybe a rematch with Crawford and Canelo?
I feel like it wasn't close enough. It wasn't close enough.
Really?
If it was close, maybe, but it just was like, it wasn't close.
The debate over a fantasy matchup between Prime Floyd and Prime Crawford continues to dominate fan discussions. Mayweather's defensive genius and unmatched IQ versus Crawford's adaptability and finishing instincts make for a dream scenario. But the reality is clear: Floyd is long past his prime, lacking the reflexes and stamina of his peak years. A fight today would be spectacle, not a true clash. The prime versus prime argument remains an eternal what-if.
So yeah, everybody, so this is a good question that the ring put out. So Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather, a fantasy fight that will never happen. Now, this is a really good question. Who will win between these two? Me personally, if this was old Floyd Mayweather, well, I'm going to say pretty boy Floyd, I'm talking about like the younger version of Floyd Mayweather wins. You're talking probably prime Floyd Mayweather versus prime Terence Crawford. You could see Floyd Mayweather beating Terence Crawford, but you're talking about money Floyd versus Terence Crawford. I see Terence Crawford stopping him in the later rounds due to Floyd Mayweather's passive style and Philly shell. I believe he'll melt. Terence Crawford would just break him, I think. People forget what Manny Pacquiao was able to do on Floyd Mayweather, have success with him certain parts of the fight, and people just need to see, you know, Floyd Mayweather's, I would say, you know, fights, you know, later down in the years. I think Crawford would just be able to break that defense. I don't know. The thing is about Terence Crawford, he has a very, very awkward style, very awkward foot movement, footwork. This is the thing. A lot of people were thinking, oh, nobody beats Floyd. Or if you try to compare somebody else, no, this man will beat Floyd. Floyd would beat everybody. I don't think it's a case of Terence Crawford, everybody. I think Terence Crawford would have been the man to actually beat Floyd. Honestly, for what he did to Canelo Alvarez, he beat a 168 Canelo Alvarez. 168 Canelo Alvarez.
Analysts caution that numbers alone don't define greatness head-to-head. Mayweather's 50-0 record and longevity are nearly impossible to replicate, while Crawford became undisputed in multiple divisions, a feat Floyd never achieved. The comparison isn't straightforward. Floyd's resume features global icons and blockbuster pay-per-views, while Crawford's legacy rests on clean, decisive wins. Analysts agree, being more accomplished on paper doesn't always mean being the better fighter. Context, timing, and styles matter most.
Mayweather versus Terence Crawford is the topic of this video, and someone posted this: number of world champion fighters beaten, Floyd with 23, Terence with only 11. But my response to this is, being more accomplished does not mean you're better than someone. By example, Canelo has 18 former world champions beaten, Terence has 11. So you could argue that Canelo's more accomplished. Meanwhile, Terence just whooped them over the course of 12 rounds over the weekend. We all saw it. Plus, more accomplished fighters lose to lesser accomplished fighters all the time, so that's a bad argument. Let's talk skill for skill. Terence Crawford has knockout power in both hands. He can switch stances. He's not a stationary target. He has good footwork. He knows how to counterpunch. He knows how to fight on the outside and on the inside. He can make it dirty. He knows how to box and he knows how to fight. There's a difference. Guys like Shakur Stevenson, for example, they know how to box. When it comes to actually getting down and dirty, you know, the jury is still out on one Shakur Stevenson, just by example. Terence Crawford, I think, if you look at the names on Floyd's list here, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, Marcos Maidana, Cotto, and the list goes on and on, I think Terence Crawford has a shot at beating all those guys. I don't think anybody on that list jumps off the page and goes, oh my God, I think he smokes Terence Crawford. You can't say that about anybody on any of these guys' lists and names here. So yeah, that's my take on this, man. Maybe the only guy is Gennady Golovkin. I could see Gennady Golovkin giving Terence a really hard fight, especially at that weight. But remember, Canelo lost to Gennady. Gennady shouldn't even be on this list. He's only on the list because the judges are in Canelo's back pocket. So, you know, that's a whole nother argument. But yeah, that's my take on this, guys. Skill for skill, Terence Crawford might be one of the best of all time, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to accept that, guys. It's fine. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. Just join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Zab Judah's words carry weight. He fought Mayweather and knows the demands of the elite level. Judah acknowledged Crawford as the king of this era, pointing out that every generation has its standout. He even reminded fans of Canelo Alvarez's remark that Crawford might be better than Floyd, a comment that fueled endless debate. For Judah, Crawford's success across weight classes, while maintaining power, timing, and composure, proves his completeness. Judah's endorsement feels like a symbolic passing of the torch. Floyd ruled his time, but Crawford now wears the crown.
Punch to knock him out, you know what I'm saying? The size will be a factor. None of that was nothing.
How did you score it?
Huh?
How did you score the fight?
I think I gave Canelo about 3 rounds. About
Really?
3 rounds. Yeah, about 3 rounds. How did you score? You just score about, sound about fair?
What's that?
Sounds about right?
I had it closer, but there's loads of different scores.
2 rounds.
You gave him 2 rounds.
2 rounds. Yeah, he can't do anything. I gave him a possible 3 rounds. So if I play space, we get him 2 impossible.
Where did you put him in the all-time list? 5-weight world champion, 3-weight undisputed, Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford.
He's number 1 right now. He's number 1. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. You know, how can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, you know, that, you know, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You'd like to see a rematch?
Not a rematch. Rematches always sound good. But in a rematch, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Zap.
My boy's a dog,
Yeah.
trust me.
Thank you.
Crawford argued that Canelo's perspective carries more weight than most analysts because he fought both men. Still, Crawford stressed the circumstances were very different. Floyd faced Canelo as a raw, young talent still learning the craft, while Crawford fought a seasoned, fully mature champion at super middleweight. This timing, Crawford said, changes everything. Beating an experienced Canelo means something different than Floyd's schooling of a youthful version, a distinction Crawford uses to defend his own achievement while respecting Floyd's.
He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, you know, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the best, you know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, you know, I don't know, you know, I don't go off of that. You know, Floyd is the best fighter, you know, in his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about the fight, I always loved watching you switch stances as effortlessly as you do. You didn't do that a lot in this fight. You didn't have to. Were you expecting not to have to?
No, I felt like I could have, but, you know, why do something when something else is working?
Easy answer.
Jeff Mayweather defended Floyd by pointing to context. When Floyd fought Canelo, he was already past his physical prime, relying on timing and IQ rather than raw speed. Yet he still completely neutralized a dangerous young opponent. Jeff insists this should not be overlooked. Comparing Floyd's version of Canelo to Crawford's is unfair, he argued, because they met Canelo at completely different stages of his career. To Jeff, history often ignores such circumstances when rewriting legacies.
Well, also if we remember, you know, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw, and then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, you know, into deep waters. So.
Yeah. What was Canelo? What? 20-something? 20 what? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people, but he. But
are you at the top of your career in your prime? You're in your prime. You're in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, for sure, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
But I mean, don't you? I mean,
make himself look like he did something great.
Buddy McGirt praised Crawford's performance against Canelo, noting how he dictated pace, distance, and exchanges from start to finish. Unlike others who fell into Canelo's traps, Crawford never let him set the rhythm. McGirt compared this control to Floyd's brilliance but emphasized that Crawford added his own twist with aggression and finishing ability. To McGirt, the fight was more than a win, it was proof that Crawford belongs among the sport's greatest technicians.
Yes.
Like, what fight were they watching?
Right.
I mean, it's. I don't know, man. I don't know what some of these guys be doing in this game, man. Some people, in situations like that, they should ask them, listen, just turn in your license, bro. Because there's no way in hell the fight was that close.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. It's just, it's not fair. It's not fair. You get a guy like Terence got here and dominate from beginning to end, and then you find out he needed the last 2 rounds to win. That's scary, man.
It is, and you see how you just mentioned scary. Now, a lot of people are saying, buddy, that type of beating, he's not going to want a rematch. But looking at those scorecards and knowing that, hey, you wasn't too far behind, even though, he did mention that, he's better than Mayweather. But, I mean, what's your thoughts? Do you feel like that was such a beating that Canelo wouldn't want a rematch?
No, I think that, in all honesty, personally, I think that Canelo's at that stage in his career right now, that it's a rematch he don't need. He don't need it. You know what I mean? What we saw that night, that's the stage Canelo's at right now. He's fought everybody, he's did everything. You know what I mean? He passed the torch to the right guy. You know what I mean? He passed the torch to the right guy. You know what I mean? He lost it to Terence fair and square, and he passed the torch. So you're gonna have another fight, cool, but you don't need to. You have nothing. He has nothing to prove. He fought Terence and nobody else would.
Analysts explained that Mayweather's global stardom was fueled not only by his skills but also his charisma and ability to market himself as both hero and villain. His undefeated streak drew fans who tuned in either to admire him or to see him lose. Crawford, by contrast, has never been a huge pay-per-view draw. But analysts argue this shouldn't diminish his skill. In fact, some believe Crawford's natural ability, switching stances, controlling range, finishing fights, may surpass Floyd's. Where Floyd was cautious and defensive, Crawford is ruthless and decisive, making him just as hard to beat, but more exciting to watch.
Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ, and not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far, and I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more.